This week, I took a break from affirmations. And the reason wasn't because I didn't try. My body literally was rejecting them. It was not accepting any affirmations. Anytime I tried to do it, it literally just blocked it out. So I just took a step back. And what I did was I just focused on my energy healing, recalibrating, and I didn't judge myself. What I did was I got curious. And I believe that my body was rejecting it because I was still acclimating not only to getting one manifestation, but processing a no. No's are just as powerful as yeses, and they also will bring up a lot of stuff for you internally that can dysregulate you. And when you're dysregulated, you can't take in more information. You have to ground yourself. You have to give yourself time to rest, recover, and heal. And on top of that, we had a new moon this weekend, and this energy was very powerful. And I want to talk about this because it'll make more sense regarding what was going on with me and my process of manifesting a car. Why, at times, no's are just as helpful in building a foundation that will better serve you moving forward. So let's get into it. This week, I was looking for cars and I said yes to one. I found one that looked good on paper. It was an evolution from the one that I had said no to. So I was like, God has brought me my car. This is perfect. It looks great in every which way. I go to test drive the car. It seemed okay. And I asked the salesman if there was something wrong with the alignment. And this person outright lied to me and said there was a factory setting where you can pick which side it pulls to, which I thought was very weird. And then I test drove another car, and my brother asked this person the same thing. And he's like, yes. So this person outright lied. And in my good faith, and this is where I just feel so silly sometimes, is I'm so trusting of people until proven otherwise. And I took this guy's I should have. The thing for me is when you're really dysregulated, you can't make good decisions. So, what I would recommend if you are ever making a big purchase, making a big life choice, take a step back and allow yourself time to let things resonate. Hindsight, looking at this transaction, I wish I would have told the dealership, can you give me all this information? And then I will let you know what best suits me. But to be honest, I was so dysregulated and I was so trusting because I was like, ooh, all of this stuff looks so good. The car looked good. The drive felt good. It looked on paper, especially on the Carfax, like they had actually done the maintenance. So I was very trusting. I talked to the guy about warranties. They had a warranty that would cover me up to a certain amount, past beyond my loan. There's all these things that looked really good. And so I bought the car and I felt sick to my stomach when it happened. And I knew that was me expanding and trusting the process and clearing out blockages within me. Because the craziest thing is, after I said yes, drove home, I treated my brother to some treats and we went shopping for stuff at the grocery store. And instead of feeling this lack, I felt this crazy abundance, this abundance that I want to share more. I thought, having made one of the most intense purchases of my life to this point, that I would have said, "Ooh, I have to be finicky and frugal." And no, I felt so abundant. I did not feel any lack. So that was a good experience. Now, I took it the next, I had one day where I had just to focus on work. And then on Friday, I'd scheduled a PPI, which is a pre-purchase inspection. My guy mechanic checked it out and he brought a lot of things to my attention. And he asked me, did you get, the paperwork from the dealership? And I said, they never gave it to me. So I made it a point to get that paperwork. They did not give it to me Friday upon request, and I had to push for it on Saturday. And mind you, when you buy a car, you have 5 business days to make a decision if you truly want it. And this salesman was pushing the fact that, I needed to make a decision, and which I didn't like because he did not give me the paperwork. Later found out this person straight up lied to me. And when I got the paperwork, found out he was supposed to disclose an alignment issue with me. Now, here's the thing about warranties that I want you to know. If you want to make sure you read everything, because a salesman's word is not binding. So you want to get everything in writing before you sign. Okay. Second thing is you want to make sure that what the warranty says. So any pre-owned conditions, because it was a used car, are not covered by that warranty. And I asked this guy if there's any issues that come up. He said, "Oh yeah, we'll cover it." Well, there's certain things that are not covered, and a lot of the issues that this car was possibly and could possibly have did not fall under the warranty. So I would have been less screwed. So I let my energy course through my body. I was fucking pissed, I'll be honest. And so this ties into the full moon energy because full moon was in Sagittarius, which is all about expansion, truth. In my opinion, truth. It's all about wanting to know truth through the exploration of different areas and knowledge. And before, we would need to literally travel to different areas to get knowledge. And now we have the internet. We have that knowledge at our fingertips. So for me, this full moon was all about expansion of the mind. But the thing that blocks us, a lot of us, is Lilith. Because Lilith, in biblical sense, was the first wife of Adam who defied him by getting on top of him. And she was then thrown into the demon world and became a demon. Now, I think with most things, she's archetypal. And she is the suppressed feminine energy that has been ridiculed and rejected by patriarchal society. She's deemed as bad, but in reality, she's just a wounded essence that lives in all of us that has been formed by, I said, patriarchy. And so this feminine energy, you have to be aware of how it actually can be a bad, toxic expression of this divine feminine energy. And so with this whole interaction, I could see myself getting angry. And my Lilith likes to castrate, mutilate, and it likes to go for the guttural. It loves to just go in for the kill. She likes to be right. She's aggressive and she will take you down, especially if you did her wrong first. She only comes out if you've done her wrong. Okay. Never her first. She will never just go out to do it because there has to be some initiation. I think that's what most of Lilith is because with that story with Adam, Adam said she couldn't do X, Y, and Z. And she said, "Watch me, bitch." Because honestly, a healthy relationship, both men and women get on top and they also receive. They're the giver and the receiver. And that's usually what makes a very healthy sexual relationship. Hello. And I think that's healthy. Hello. But when it comes to this analogy, an unhealed feminine can be very combative. So I had to look at this energy and I had to slow myself down from reacting after looking at how I had been wronged and how this salesperson, the way they acted and treated me was not, it was coming from a place of disservice rather than service. Because one of the biggest things I've noticed when it comes to making money in a business is the question of, are you doing it out of a place of wanting to be of the highest energy and service to everyone involved? Or are you trying to make a sale for your own energetic gain? It's one or the other. There's no in betweens. It's one or the other. Just like there's fear and there's love. That's it. There's only two. Like life is so simple. There's two energies always. Which one are you coming from? Fear, anxiety, love, and gratitude. Because anxiety and gratitude, they've proven this through scans in the brain, cannot exist at the same time. You're either in anxiety or you're in gratitude. So which one are you in? Okay. And so with this interaction, I had to slow down. I did my research. And yes, I was annoyed that I had to do it, but it was teaching me how to be diligent with this healthy Lilith energy. Because what I did is I looked at who I needed to talk to. I created a, a check in with the service people. So I set all this stuff up so I could be set up for, the greatest success and also to support the people in that dealership. I set up an appointment for Monday, which was give me enough time to make a choice if I wanted to keep the car or not. I sent an email, a well-detailed email explaining everything that I would require in order to keep the car, especially if I were to stay in compliance with my warranty rather than getting screwed by it. I laid everything out so articulate and so to the T that I had to sit there and I was happy with it. But there was this part of me that really wanted to lash out and be mean, spiteful, and hurtful. And that's the unhealed Lilith. And I got an email from the guy who did, the lying and, did not do his job to the T that he was supposed to, pushing me and trying to bully me into a decision. So I then took a step back, detached. This whole process is learning about detaching on my end, which is good because it means I'm less reactive. I detach, I get grounded. And then I emailed him back. I laid everything out where, if you want to come at me, this is why I took my time. Because the second he sent me that paperwork, demanded an answer. I'm like, homie, you just gave this to me. Let your girl cook on this. And I cooked. And his ass might be cooked. But that's not my fucking problem because you shouldn't fucking lie to people. That's that. And that's where I need to disconnect. Do I wish this upon him? Absolutely not. But do I cater to people's bullshit and being bullied? No. Do I cater to people who do sales out of a selfish place? Hell to the no. And it's so interesting in buying this car. I can see energetically if someone's in service for themselves or if they actually care about the other person. There's a huge energetic difference. And this is a good learning experience for me because I don't want to be that person who's selling out of fear. I want to be the person who is doing it for the highest good of everyone involved. Be it for if I'm doing affiliate marketing, is it of the highest quality of content in regards to timing, the recording, the message, and the companies that I'm working with? And when it comes to and beyond that, because I've seen so many issues with the affiliate marketing where I took a step back this year and I wanted to test out all of my products for a year before I recommended any of them. That's just me and where I'm at with my standards, not what's trending, what can give me a good video, and what words can I use to, get a sale. To me, that's dark magic. That's dark psychology. And that's not serving anyone but yourself. Watch a lot of these creators that might have started in a good energy. It just goes into a place where it's not energetically sound anymore. People get hooked on the money, they get hooked on the likes, and I sympathize because that happened to me when I had my first big viral video, thing that got a lot of money. You get scared that it'll stop coming in, and so you get fearful. And I saw myself kind of doing this dance between that energy, so I had to ask myself, are you really in alignment here? So I took a step back because I wanted to be in the greatest alignment. And I also knew for myself that it wasn't the only channel of income that I wanted, nor did I desire. I wanted to build something myself. So it became a question of how do I get in alignment with my own message, my own products? How do I do this? And so it's been a slower journey on my end because I'm building something that is in deep alignment with my soul's purpose, which doesn't align with the current collective, not mechanism, but flow of capital gains and income. And I want to build something that is going to go the long haul. So it's going to take a little bit of time to not only deprogram what has been programmed within myself through society, but it's also rewiring my interactions, my reactions, and my internal dialogue, which is why I'm grateful I'm going through this whole process. And this car is just one piece of the puzzle to building a mindset that will serve me beyond just this car, beyond getting material things. This affirmation process wasn't just about building and getting things. It was about building a life that I am fucking proud of, that I love, and that is so grounded and so true in all of the things that I desire for a future and a lifestyle I desire, not only for myself, but most people, everyone. I desire that for everyone. And you could say that's a very optimistic and unrealistic perspective, but you got to start somewhere, and I would love to be the person who can delegate and make good decisions. And sometimes having these hard no's is a part of that decision and that evolution. And so for me, was it a pain in the butt? Fuck yeah. This was annoying as shit. But I'm seeing how it's of service. And I'm also got to have a lovely gift drop in my lap of how it's helping me evolve. I got to find a mechanic that I love and respect, which is a gold mine. If you know, you know. So no matter what happens, I found a mechanic that's going to work with me that I would love to work with. And I also had an experience with my dad where I realized my dad gets so energetically charged when he's mad at other people treating me mad. But the way he comes out and expresses it, I think he's getting mad at me. The energy is so much, I spaz out. We end up having a dysregulated conversation. But I realized my dad just loves me so much. He just gets so productive. And is it expressed always in the best manner? No. But I also think that's because men have not been allowed to healthily express their emotions due to the patriarchy. So there's that. But I understand that. And I just love how much he loves me. It was just a nice gift and a nice rewiring of what was not true. And I also know that my dad and I have grown past the people that we were when I had those woundings. Would I recommend, healing yourself so it's easier to work through it in the moment rather than, 20 years down the road and letting it create a wreckage behind you? Yes, of course. But I mean, I think all of us where we're at are having to rewire and reprogram so that moving forward, people have less emotional baggage to deal with. So there's that. And I got to really heal, work through that. I got to look at my Lilith energy and see what it feels like to be in my power versus when I'm not in my power, when I'm vindictive, angry, mean, and hostile versus grounded, centered, healed, and making a damn good point and trusting in my no, trusting as if they say no to this. Because there's obviously that fear of like, oh, what if they say no? Then they fucking say no and you walk the fuck away. And for me, that's huge because that was a key problem in all my romantic relationships. I would give a no, I would give a big reason of not wanting to stay, and I fucking wouldn't listen. And it fucking demoralized the fuck out of me and allowed shit brains to stay and to siphon off my energy. I don't fucking want that anymore. So this car is not only helping me create greater strength and energy behind my nose, it's teaching me how to embrace and detaching from other people's choices from my, not ultimatums, but just what respects me. What is in my best interest? And if someone wants to meet me, cool. If someone doesn't, I got to learn to let go. So this is teaching me in hindsight how to really embrace and accept a healthy relationship in my life and not being bullied, not being gaslit, reading the fine print. And I feel like it's preparing me for dating. This is so crazy and weird. Like there's going to be some no's and to get right on those no's early rather than later, where it could be extremely costly. Like if I were to take this car and it's a fucking lemon, which it very much could be. So, you know, I'm asking for guidance on whether or not I should take this, even if they do say yes, but there's a few layers to this, and I got to detach and trust that God will have the best for me. But I really have to be clear on my energy that I'm at my highest good. And I gave the dealership, the weekend to go over my stuff. I set the appointment so that I didn't just drop in and drop a bomb on everybody. I'm trying to be as considerate as possible. And I've always been that way. How can I be the most considerate? And if people want to react poorly to that, that's not my fucking problem. And that's what I have to learn. It's not my fucking problem. I'm not your mom. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not here to fucking baby the fuck out of you. You have a job. You should have done it. Capiche. That's it. And you didn't. So now we're here. And I'm also learning that I need to learn to read the fine print before agreeing to fucking anything because it's a fucking pain in the ass and a headache. But I do have a little return date. I kind of like that. It's like, yeah, I got to figure this out. Is this a good exchange? And this will serve me not only in getting a car, but in business transactions and romantic transactions. Any fucking transaction, it's going to fucking help. And I'm excited about that. And woo, it feels good just to know that this is serving me in pursuit of my greatest good. So this is actually one of the most powerful things. And as I'm acclimating into this new energy, it makes sense why the affirmations weren't hitting because I was transforming so much. I just needed to get grounded in this experience. And that's why I believe in taking breaks. with the affirmations. If they aren't hitting, they aren't hitting. Take a fucking break. Don't keep, don't stop doing the work. I was still doing my energy healing. I started doing a parasite cleanse. Like, I'm still learning, I'm still evolving, I'm still doing, but I really tapped into this full moon energy. I'm working with this. I'm working and transmuting that. I'm allowing that message to come through so it can empower me rather than disempower me, which an unhealed Lilith energy will. A healed one, I don't think so. She's fiery as fuck, but in a good way. A no BS. She loves hard and she will fight even harder. But if it's initiated, as I shared in the beginning, but how I fight, and it's not even fight, how I bring my terms to the table and I'm willing to detach if someone isn't going to meet me. And knowing that I'm protected and that my allies will show up throughout the process. I am protected, I am guided, and I don't have to fight. I don't have to micromanage. I don't have to do any of that stuff anymore. The way I'm speaking right now is not how I was speaking at the beginning of this week. So this right here is a full frontal evolution of myself, my soul, and my worth. Regardless of things, I will always be this person. And this is where I feel powerful. Is this is the person that I love being. I'm not cruel, I'm not mean. I'm diligent. I'm forthcoming. I expect truth and honesty. And if that honesty is wronged, you bet your ass that I have a right to express this. How I express it is where I need to do my work, and I need to keep doing that. But to say that nothing came out of this week is a lie. If I don't get this car, then it's not what's meant to be. And I will keep you guys informed next week about whether or not how this transaction went. We'll see how it goes, because this reminds me of when I really sat in my truth and my true self when it came to an ex. And I told them, this is what I want. What do you want? And they said they didn't want to be with me. And so I left. That was one of the hardest things that I've ever done. And it really sent me into the depths of my depression and inner work. And it's crazy how no's can be just as powerful as yeses. So this is a sign that if you are going through a series of no's, it's for your highest good. Because honestly, the no's will trigger just as much unhealed stuff in you that need to be addressed. And when you heal that now, it will keep you from tripping up and self-sabotaging yourself in the future around things that could be more costly than a car. So I really want to stress that. So I feel that this week was a fucking win. And I know that I'm going to start up my affirmation work next week. It feels right to start it. So if you need time to recover, amazing. If you not need time to step back and look at, is it a yes or is it a no? Take your time. You want to make an educated decision, and don't let anyone ever fucking push you into a yes or a fucking no. Never, ever, ever. And if you need to speak up and just say, hey, I just need some time. I feel dysregulated. I want to make sure I'm making a good yes and a sound yes for the best of everybody. Just say that. Who's going to argue when you're saying, oh, I need to make the best decision for me? You say, no, I need to make the best decision for everyone involved. You care, you're considerate. And to me, I think that's the best way that you can look at life, because we are all connected. And sometimes the highest good is saying no to other people, because it doesn't allow that behavior to continue. What they do with that no is on them at that point. But if you do your work, you do your healing, the answer will come through, because God never leaves you to, your own devices. I was given a mechanic that gave me clarity that there was some bullshit going on. He gave me a father that loves to protect me. And they also gave me a lot of tools that I can utilize as a woman to support myself. So I feel so honored and grateful to be born in this lifetime, in this time period as a woman. And I love that I can bring this energy and ground it down into the collective during this full moon. So I'm grateful I had the opportunity to evolve. And to me, that's the most powerful thing that you can do on this energy healing journey.